Hello and welcome. My name is George Gallego, and I'm proud to introduce you to the Access Project, a place where possibility meets purpose. I created the Access Project because I lived the gaps. As a paraplegic, I experienced firsthand the lack of accessible wellness spaces that truly honored the full humanity of people with disabilities. I knew we deserved more, not just ramps and gym equipment, but a community. A space that sees us, values us, and pushes us to thrive. So in 2014, we built something revolutionary right here in East Harlem, a multicultural, community-based health and wellness center, specifically designed for people with disabilities and seniors. But we're not just a gym. We're not just a service provider. We are a movement, rooted in equity, resilience, and transformation. Our members come here for adaptive fitness, personal training, peer support, and even social services. But what they leave with is so much more. Confidence, connection, and a renewed sense of power. At Access, we believe that disability is not a limitation. It's a lens through which strength, creativity, and purpose shine even brighter. Whether it's boxing from a wheelchair, spinning on a crank cycle, or finding support with housing or even healthcare, our members are reclaiming their power every single day. This is more than a program. This is personal. This is community. This is the Access Project. If the world were truly built with universal design in mind, what do you think life would be like?
That's powerful. I think about the future a lot, and like going out and everything, I always have to think ahead of what I'm doing and everything to make sure everything's wheelchair accessible and all that. So if I could just come outside and not have to worry about that, that would be just a different type of freedom that I don't have. So.
Wouldn't life be super boring then?
Yeah. No, it'll be super easy. Yeah. Yes. What's one lesson about disability, inclusion, and adaptation you think mostly about in the past from one generation to the next?
That's a really good question. I think that one lesson I'd like to pass from one generation to the next would be that we're lifelong students and we're also lifelong teachers. Mm-hmm. And we always remember that we're mentors and mentees for our entire lives, and we're always in a situation where we're not only learning and listening to everyone around us, but we're also in a mindset where we know that we also have to teach. Every time I leave home, I realize, and I have to tell myself this regularly, that I shouldn't be afraid to tell someone what's right or what's wrong, because not everyone is always present, and we always have to remain present.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's actually good. Yeah.
And when things get hard, when progress is slow, or the system just isn't working, how do you keep your emotional and mental rhythm steady?
That's good. My family, stay with my family, my community that you introduced me to, honestly, over here, that just puts me more sane, and I can lean on my family because they don't look at me any different. They make me feel, like normal. And then coming back to my community too, then I can talk about it because they can also relate and stuff like that. So stuff like that, yeah, just those two things mostly help a lot.
That's good. I think that even slow progress is progress, mm-hmm. Right? So even when things feel like they're not moving, they really are.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think about is that when things get hard and the system isn't working for me, I create my own system and I make it work for me.
Yeah, I see that too. You definitely do that one. That was cool on the first try too.
Every day feels like a battle. What do you do to fight for your peace, your body, your independence?
That's a good question. For my piece, I come to Access to work out, go down my crank cycle and forget about everything for a good 45 minutes. And also helps with my independence, so I can get around the city more, the Bronx, all that, and just the community here. So they can always relate with us over here. Anything that goes on, whether it's something at home, the A's, Cesaride, any of that, somebody got a similar story as you. So coming here really helps a lot to the Access Project. So
I can relate to those experiences. I joined Access also for the community, to meet new people and share experiences, because yes, Accessoride is how I get here, and it's a daily battle due to scheduling and the challenges that come with it.
yeah, the delays are annoying, you could imagine. So yeah, you gotta call early and they're still late, and then you always have to wait for people to like get on and off too, which is very annoying, right?
It is. It's a challenge, but I push forward and it motivates me to keep on going and to do what I need to do to be independent and get out there and meet new people.
Yes, that really hits home. I deal with assumptions a lot. Every day, somebody's just assuming I can or cannot do something. Do you have to deal with that?
I definitely relate to that in so many ways, where people always want to speak for me, assume that I can or cannot do anything. But I use that opportunity to teach them that it's okay to ask questions, to learn about my disability, spina bifida, and to know that as a wheelchair user, you're still able to accomplish many things in life, even with adjustments that need to be made.
That's good. That's good. That's nice. I like how you like to teach other people stuff, because sometimes I don't even have that patience. And yeah, I have to just deal with people thinking I can't get in and out of car. Like they just look at you and just think you're stuck in a wheelchair, which is not true. We can do a lot of things. So, yes. Switch to side to side, and then up both our head next. Here. Beautiful. And don't forget to breathe. There we go. Nice. Side to side. Nice.
Wow, Alex, you make it look so easy.
Thank you, man. Thank you. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. I have a question for you. So I'm curious to know, how has adaptive fitness helped you reach your goals, especially since after your injury?
It helped me reach a lot of goals. It helped me be more confident in myself, be one with my body, and also just meeting a lot of people and stuff like that. It steered me over here to Access Project, where I met a whole bunch of people, and I also became a trainer to a lot of people and inspiration. So I just makes me feel better, and I also like to help people too a lot. So it made me feel a lot better, and I just like to see people happy. You know, what's up, Albert? Hit it, try it out yourself, Charlie.
Okay, sure. I'll give it my best shot.
Keep it nice and straight, okay?
How am I doing?
Yeah, one back.
Oh, back and forth. Okay.
The other arm. There you go.
All right. I think I got it.
Yes. I got a question for you now, though.
I got an answer for you.
All right. How do you think accessibility helps even for able-bodied people like yourself?
Well, I think accessibility for fitness activities should be accessible for all individuals, regardless of disability or no disability at all. Inclusivity is so important. That's how we can all come together as human beings, is making things more inclusive for all and not just for some.
Absolutely, I agree with you on that one.
So how do you deal with situations that aren't quite adapted to you? You know, things that aren't really built for people with disabilities?
It's frustrating, but it gives me the opportunity to push forward. Literally, no pun intended, but it gives me the opportunity to push boundaries and work around whatever barriers I need to in order to accomplish what needs to be done.
I try to build around it as much as possible. Like, I do make adapted products for people. So like eating tools, cooking utensils, ramps, things like that. I find that a lot of locations aren't like normally too accessible. So I have to call restaurants, Google things, look up about pages. And I actually try to build stuff to help people make their places more accessible too.
I had an experience as well with going out dining where I researched, and unfortunately the establishment wasn't fully accessible.
Yeah.
So it would be convenient to have it be accessible. It would be one less of an obstacle that we have to go through in our daily lives due to being a wheelchair user and going through everything else that we need to be going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is
That's
one
cool.
goal, personal or collective, that if suddenly it would be available if the access barriers disappear tomorrow?
I would really love if every restaurant and place in New York City was forced to have an accessible entrance. Like, have a fine for anyone who's not accessible. We are the richest city I think we're one of the richest cities in the world. There's no reason for us to have to even question whether or not we can get into a restaurant or store or anything like that. You know, that'd be a goal.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I just find it so frustrating when people misunderstand me and also misunderstand how my wheelchair works and how I use it. Do you ever have that problem, Patrick?
That's a very good question, Ione. You know, during the height of COVID, I had picked up a new exercise, manually wheeling myself around the mall, just for my quality of life, just to keep my strength up because we couldn't go outside, we couldn't go no place. But then people would assume just because I'm wheeling myself, or if my aide was right next to me, that she had to be pushing me. They felt like I couldn't do it by myself. They didn't understand that I was doing it for the struggle, that I wanted to push myself. There were times I had a 40-pound weighted vest on, and they would say, wow, he's struggling. How come his aide is not helping him? But they would have took the time and asked me, like, why is he struggling so bad? I'll tell them, listen, I don't have a big sign that says I have a 40-pound weighted vest on. That's why I'm struggling. That's why she's walking. She helps me when I need it, so don't worry about it. It's all good. And Ione, there's a stigma. How do you respond when people make assumptions or treat you differently because of your disability?
I get that all the time. I'm so glad you asked that because the biggest challenge I have is my voice. So people assume they can't understand me. So they'll be talking to me and they're like, sure, not listening to a word I'm saying. So every now and then I like to have fun with them at their expense. I'm like, the blue cow jumped over the purple moon. And they're like, Then they're like, wait, what are you talking about? I said, see, he wasn't even listening to what I was saying. And that's how I deal with them. What do you do?
You know what? I wish people would just take the time, get to know us, stop and ask some questions. You know our names. Because I met a nice, interesting couple during my little wheeling myself with the mall walkers, and his name was Raymond. He was a vet, and he would say, always come up to me and say, "You have the heart of a lion." He put an L sign up. He says, "I see you struggling, but you have the heart of a lion." I have a sweatshirt and a T-shirt with that logo, Heart of a Lion, because that's how I am when it comes to this disease. People just take the time to know us and learn our struggle and see why we're pushing forward.
That's right. Mess around and find out.
Ready?
Let's do this.
Hi, Mama. I've noticed that even though we have the same disability, people tend to treat us differently based on how we move. What have people gotten wrong about you?
Hi, my penny. What people got wrong about me with my disability, which is cerebral palsy, is that they assume that I can't walk or I can't clean up or have kids, and I do it all. So when they are shocked when they see that I get up out of my chair and stuff and like, what? You can walk? I said, yeah, it's not pretty, but I can do it. I can do a lot of things.
Indeed, you can.
Well, my penny, my question's to you. How do you handle when people make assumptions about your body, your ability, and your independence?
I just brush it off, to be honest, unless we're talking about assumptions in the home care space. Because a lot of the times in the home care space, our caregivers can make assumptions about our level of ability when they shouldn't be making those assumptions when the person they're caregiving for knows what they can and can't do for themselves.
I get where you're coming from, Penny, because they do assume that a lot and they don't listen, especially to the person that is needing the help and know what help they need. So I understand that very well.
Yeah. You ready, Mama?
Yes, I am, my Penny. Go. You know. Oh, go ahead, reach for it. Uh-huh.
Oh.
Get it, girl. Oh, that arm's strong. Yeah. Boom.
What's up, Dux?
Hey, what's happening?
Oh, not much, man.
So adaptive sports have changed the way society and people view disability and how we see ourselves. What's one way being in the ring or being involved in boxing has allowed you to change your views on the way you deal with things in life?
Sure.
Outside of the ring.
Okay, good question, George. So yeah, see, they parallel each other, right? In the world of adaptive boxing, you have adversity, right? Conditioning, training, and then you have your opponent that was to stop everything that you want. They're in your way. They want the same thing as you. As in able about my regular life, each one I'm disabled, right? So I have to start at the same start each time on disabled. And my adversity is the standard the world sets for us. All right, they're telling me that I can't do this, or this is where you should be, based off of how I look or what you've been poorly educated, right? And that's my battle. That's my opponent. That's something I deal with every day. That's an inner struggle that I have to battle because it's their words, but I carry. Right? I go through my life like, okay, if they say I can't do this in the world, things I can't, then that's how I should be because I want to fit in. We're all going to be want to fit in, but I'm unhappy.
So how do you show up?
How do I show up? I push myself. I do it in adaptive boxing. So I started with sports. I speak for me, right? Adaptive boxing changed my perspective, how I deal with life and how I tackle obstacles. At one point, I was very overweight. I was like 246 pounds and depressed. My relationship was in the dumps. I was unemployed. I had no income, no independence. I was completely dependent on the government and other people. And that was the stereotype of a person with a disability. I fit right in. And to break that, I had to change my mindset. And in order to change my mindset and how I saw myself, I had to actually work on me and do that work. And that came with discipline. I changed my diet. I started going to the gym, started training myself. I started feeling really good. Started meeting other people with disabilities and seeing that they're accomplishing goals and they're facing struggles like me. So I'm like, okay, I'm not alone here. You know, it's not just me against the world. So that gave me the inspiration to go forward. And next thing you know, I started going to adaptive boxing, started working with my peers, and doors just opened from there. My confidence, my self-esteem. I stopped accepting no. And if there's something that people say I can't do, I figure out a way to do it, and it may be adaptive, but it can still be done. And that's the temporary care.
I think you said many important things, but the one important thing that you said is that it starts within it. It never starts on the outside. The outside may force you in a position where you feel like you need to act, right? That it always starts with it. But we always have to take a moment, take a deep breath, and reflect.
George, no, I think people are starting to get it, but not fully. What do you think still gets overlooked when people ask about adaptive athletes or inclusive fitness spaces?
So I have to reel it back just a little bit. So I wear many different hats, right? But I started off, like you, as a person with a disability that was physically way out of shape. I had to be. I was at 350. I had to work my way down from 350. But when I finally made the decision to get myself physically fit, a lot of other things changed, right? Emotionally, I was in a better place. Mentally, I was in a better place. And then I started doing more than just athletics. That was just the starting point. That was a springboard. I ended up creating nonprofits, creating for-profits. So I'm also an entrepreneur. So I think the one thing that we're still missing in this day and age, or that society forgets about the disability community, are the numbers. Worldwide, we're 1.3 billion strong. Nationwide, as a CDC, the numbers came back for 2024 just recently, we're over 70 million strong in the disability community. You know what that translates to in dollars? That's a lot of money. So what society tends to forget is that we're a market, and we're really and truly a market to be reckoned, right? So when you have a person or a developer or a restaurateur or someone who's developing a shopping center, when they're creating that space, they're not thinking about us because they don't realize that we're a market, right? That they could tap into what we are. So I think that's the one thing that I'd love to get across nationwide and worldwide is that you can't forget us, because when you forget us, you leave money on the table.
That's right. So what do you believe should be a part of a larger conversation around adaptive sports and disability?
There's only one group on this in this universe is called humankind, right? There's only one humankind. I think what people need to continue to talk about is how to create spaces that's for humankind, and not just for people who are disabled, not disabled. Everything and anything that's created on this planet should be created for everyone to be able to utilize and enjoy, because we're all equal. Whether we're pushing, whether we're walking, whether we're using a walker, a cane, whether we're able to see, not see, whether we can hear, not hear, we're all equal.
George, you got my goal. Appreciate you.
Crank it up, crank it up. In one word,
Get it loud. Say it
what fuels you when accessibility is denied? Arlene.
Loud.
Perseverance.
Help.
Help.
Inclusion. Competition.
Free. Rights.
Action.
Now we're 2 words. No, I'm kidding. Keep it going, keep it going.
Competition.
Help. Perseverance.
Gain.
Rights.
Access. Inclusion. And hope.